taking it somebody else, I'll do it.
Elizabeth's finding that out.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I don't know how we ever lived that YouTube video. Because somebody else had done it before. She just went, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Here's
or
the
you'd have a
tricks.
buddy come over and show you, show you what not to do.
Exactly. Hey, Jerry, I'm about to start the council meeting. Bye-bye.
Mayor Pro Tem, you're live.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody, to the regular council meeting of the Village of Ruidoso, March 12th, 2024 at 1 p.m. I am filling in for the mayor as he is out of town right now. And one protocol that I get the advantage over the mayor, I do get to vote on any actions taken. The only time the mayor gets to vote if he has to break a tie. So I like trying to keep my voting going. So anyway, if I already called it to order, if you'd stand with me for a moment of silence, and we would have an invocation given by Anthony G. AG from the Methodist Church after a moment of silence, followed by the pledge to the flags.
It's actually Calvary, not the Methodist Church.
Oh, I'm sorry, Calvary Church.
Let us pray. Lord God, as we begin the official business of the day in this place, we praise you for your sustaining presence. We acknowledge that in your providential care, you have appointed governing authorities over us. We also acknowledge that that they are your servants, given to us as a gift of your grace in order that we may live in a just and peaceful society. Therefore, urge us to offer prayers and thanksgiving for our leaders in order that we may lead peaceful lives, godly and distinguished in every way. For such prayers are pleasing to you. Therefore, we thank you for our leaders. Thank you for the men and women who serve the village of Ruidoso, both now and in the years to come. Thank you for their willingness to sacrifice their time with their own families and careers in order to serve us. I pray for the vulnerable of our village, for the homeless, for many of the veterans. I pray for victims of violence and for their families, for children who are at risk of harm and abuse, and for many others. And also I pray for the first responders, for the medical staff, for the churches throughout the village, and for so many others who render care. O Lord, you are a God who is near to the brokenhearted, a God who saves the crushed spirit. I pray that you would be near to them, to provide, to protect, and to comfort them. I pray for the discussions, the decisions, that your name be glorified among the members of this body. In the strong name of Jesus, we all pray and say, Amen.
Amen. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendships among united cultures. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Anthony, and please forgive me for getting the wrong church listed. I did have it even written down right there with Calvary.
Yep.
Do you remember the dates for Holy Week? Do you got that? If you don't mind making that announcement, because I forgot to write that down. You could do a pitch on that for me, if you don't mind.
It is March 27th, 28th, and 29th at First Christian.
First Christian on Hall Road
At noon.
at noon. So a quick, sir, we're inviting you all to the Holy Week services. A quick service in the morning, but then you get lunch. They serve you lunch too, so I encourage everyone. Thank you, Anthony.
Thanks.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas,
Here.
Counselor Eby,
Here.
Counselor Letterman. Here. Counselor Hooker,
Here.
Counselor Jackson.
Here.
Great. Could I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move the agenda be approved as presented with one change, that there be a deletion of the update on Village at Ruidoso's website redesign under the Village Manager's Report.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
I'm sorry, Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Here.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye. I'm glad you're here, Joe.
I forgot, I had to say it twice.
Consent regular items. Item number 1, approval of governing body minutes, February 13, 2024, regular meeting. February 29, 2024, special meeting. March 5th, 2024, workshop meeting. Item 2, approval of resolution 2024-13, a resolution amending the Village of Ruidoso Personnel Policy, Chapter 2, Section 15, persons ineligible for hire by the Village of Ruidoso. Item number 3, approval of adoption of Sierra Blanca Regional Airport Certification Manual. Item 4, approval of adoption of Sierra Blanca Regional Airport Emergency Plan. Item number 5, approval of task order RFP 2023-001P-002, final design for Meander Drive Culvert and Dubois and King Inc. for $80,794.43, including RGA. But isn't that pronounced Du Bois?
Du Bois in America, Dubois
Okay.
in France.
Okay, Du Bois and King. Anyway, item number 6, approval of annual operating plan with the United States Forest Service for the North Fork Eagle Creek Wells special use authorization for fiscal year 2025. Item number 7, approval of change order number 7 with Roper Construction to increase the contract time from March 30th, 2024 to April 29th, 2024 for completion of Alto 3 H 1979 POD 5 and Alto 4 H 1979 POD 6 well improvement projects. Item 8, approval of multi-award of RFP 2024-004P on-call professional engineering services for water and sewer system improvements to Cobb, Finley and Associates, Souter, Miller and Associates, and Waterworks Engineering, LLC. Item 9, approval of Ruidoso Police Department policy for firearms and recruiting and selection. Those are the regular. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the consent regular items as presented.
Second.
Before our vote, I'd like to thank the Forest Service for continuing working with us on that permit up there. I'll tell you, about 10, 12 years ago, well, even longer than that, probably about 15, 16 years ago, man, that was a big hoopla on getting those approved and stuff. But thank you, Jennifer, and all the staff at your department. We enjoy working with you guys. Did you want us to have a comment on the agreement or? Okay, does anyone have questions of consent items? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye. Public input. We have 2 for public input. Dana Shank. Yes, Dana. Please come and have a seat.
5 minutes?
And you got 5 minutes. Here's our official timekeeper right here to my right.
Yes, please.
Yes.
There we go. And please excuse me for reading, but I like to have everything
Yeah.
down. But thank you for allowing me the opportunity to discuss a few topics. And my first concern is the lack of notification that a property's forestry compliance has expired. And as mentioned in the newsletter, compliance is directly tied to our residents' ability to obtain and keep affordable homeowners insurance. And so it's in the best interest of the village to properly notify residents whose compliance has expired. The additional charge that is added to our bill without a proper description is kind of frustrating, especially with residents that are on a fixed budget. I'm asking that the village properly disclose the fee on the water bill along with an explanation regarding how to remove the fee and become compliant with the ordinance. My second issue is regarding nightly rentals, and I know that this is a hot topic in Ruidoso for many reasons, and most importantly regarding property owners and management companies not properly notifying their guests of local laws and ordinances. We had a renter speed down Fern Trail this weekend, fishtailing along the way. And while that may be cute where he's from, it's not here in the village of Ruidoso and definitely not along this road. I called the management company and was told that there's nothing they can do and to call the police. I called the police and was told there's nothing they could do either. When there was a large and loud party at an Airbnb next door to us, the owner told us to call the police. The police were called multiple times by multiple residents and nothing was done. So my question is, whose responsibility is it to ensure that our visitors respect our laws? And finally, we have requested for years that road signs, including speed limit signs, be put up along Fern Trail. Speeding through Midtown has been a long-standing problem, and thankfully Rio and Wingfield have had their speed limits reduced and speed bumps installed. But as you know, Fern Trail is a narrow gravel road that lacks any legal road signs. I know some of you have personally visited out there and have seen the hazardous conditions that exist. Had we been crossing the road to dump the trash when the speeding car was coming through, we would have been hit. Our kids play out front and people love to walk along Fern Trail because it's so peaceful when people are not behaving like idiots. And I ask that you please exercise your authority to ensure our safety by posting proper street signs along Fern Trail. And thank you for the opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have, I believe it's Jody Canfield. Yay! Oh, I can't read. I don't know how to read cursive anymore. You know, my kindergarten grandkids taught me all printing now, so it's like.
Nobody does cursive anymore, right? Well, good afternoon, councilors, Mayor. Just so you didn't forget me, and good thing you didn't ask me to comment about that North Fork well permit.
Good.
That was, anyway, we got through it, right?
Right.
So I'm curious, last time I talked to you guys, it was about, gave you a presentation about our wildlife here in town. And I'm working with actually the middle school, kids that are in the, I can't remember the name of the program, it's kind of an after-school program. And they are developing a public service announcement. But it's slow, it's going slow, you know, they're seventh grade. And I see that the village has put up some additional signs about not feeding wildlife. But the saga is ongoing. Oh, the button. There you go. Green?
Green.
Okay, it's not green. There we go. There you go. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm curious, what is the long-term plan for management of the animals in the village of Ruidoso? And it really isn't clear, and people ask me this all the time, who has jurisdiction? Not just, I mean, we know Game and Fish has jurisdiction over elk and deer and bears and cougars, but the horses are a dilemma. They really are. And I know there was a ruling, that was back when I was a ranger, that they were considered wild without genetic testing. They continue to reproduce. Those little ones are really cute, but the herds just keep getting bigger and splitting up, and, now they're just everywhere. And unlike deer and elk that constantly kind of move on and, they're not that impactive, the horses seem to return to the same neighborhoods every single day for a week. Maybe 2 weeks ago, they would just circle my neighborhood. 20 horses just camped on one person's lawn. You wouldn't believe the damage they can do. Anything that was growing in my yard is gone. My yard looks like, horses went through it because they're really destructive. They don't eat the same way deer and elk do. They pull things up by the roots. And with our focus and attention on non-native plant species here in the community, specifically thistle, I think we're gonna have a bumper crop. I think it's gonna be everywhere. It's gonna be everywhere the horses went because they cause a lot of disturbance in bare soil, and thistles love bare soil. So I'm concerned about that. But I leave you with this question. What does success look like in regards to this issue? And as always, I'm at your service. So I'm happy to work with anybody. I have experience dealing with horses in other places. I know there's been some meetings that weren't well advertised, but we got to do something. Can't just keep sitting on it. Thanks.
Thank you, Jody. Okay, moving on to the mayoral reports and presentations. I'm gonna kind of jump to the last one, number 4, Village of Ruidoso Fiber Project Update. Can we have that presentation?
Looky there, he's ready.
Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
Johnny Montoya with Windstream.
Yes,
We've
Johnny, thank
met
you.
many a times.
Yeah, it's on the agenda.
I can filibuster while you're getting that up if you need me to. But good afternoon. Thank you for having us here again to present to you an update on our Windstream fiber project overbuild for the Village of Ruidoso. Things are moving along rather well. So what I thought we'd do today is talk a little bit about 3 things. 1, what progress we've made to date. 2, what are some of the issues that we've been having, right? Some common issues that we're having that you're gonna have on a construction project this big. And then the village manager asked me to talk a little bit about pricing. What are we gonna charge customers when they get provisioned or turned on to our new fiber? Commissioners, do you have this?
We do.
You
We
do?
do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
So we'll just walk through it then, and then,
There you go, you're getting it.
and council members, let me begin by introducing 2 folks from Windstream that are with me here today. Again, my name is Johnny Montoya. With me today is Russell Reed, who's our construction inspector, and Raul Munoz, who's also a construction inspector. So they're very familiar with the project. So if we have any specific questions about projects or technology, they're in the room to assist us with those questions. If you can just get past the agenda page, Juan.
There it is.
I will also say that Carrie Gladden and her team have been very, very helpful. There were some issues early on, not issues, there was a question that came up early on regarding some of your constituents or some village residents who didn't have an idea what projects we were working on. So there were roads blocked, there was some disruption going on in the village. So now every Thursday or Friday, I send Carrie and her team what we call street sheets, which are basically what streets we'll be working on the following week, so that she can post that and residents have an idea of where the disruption may be.
Okay.
So on the progress to date sheet, this is a little bit of an eye chart, but the section on top is pretty simple. We agreed that what we would try, the plan is really to build to about 8,000 households. That would be the entire village of Ruidoso. The section I'm referring to talks about footage. So the plan was to add or to construct 76,860 feet of fiber aerial, so that would be aerial fiber on poles, and another 15,379 feet buried. So we've got an aerial project and a buried project. The projects below were projects that we are working on. I got an update this morning that all the projects listed in green have been completed as of today. So those projects have been completed. Well, let's go to the next slide. I'll have our folks talk next.
Just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Johnny, so out of the total footage that you've got up, what percent or where are you at on how much footage is already up or underground?
Well, you want to help with this, Russell?
We have quite a bit underground completed. We have to.
Russell, you want to come up? Let me get you a chair here.
Sorry, sir.
Once you get on the hot seat, you got to stay on the hot seat.
When we go to place, we actually lay ducting in the ground first.
Right,
And with that ducting this way, in case there's an issue, we can pull it back out and fix it. This way we don't have the disruptions that we do, as we do the construction of this job. So a lot of it has been placed. It's in the ground. Our totals are probably in the fives right now, 5,000 feet.
okay,
But the reason that is not showing on this bar, or on this graph, because it's not been spliced in yet.
okay,
It's like us having a lot of extension cords. We're ready to fire up these fans. We just haven't plugged them into the wall.
right,
So we're at that point right there. So we are doing testing and turn up. Anybody that's over by the police station has noticed that there's been a WAMP system put in over there that has majority of that whole side of the town
tied into that.
right there. We just
Okay.
got to get the finishing projects done. Going up through the rock and stuff when we have to bore along the streets.
Right,
Try to get through that. Because some of the granite you guys got up here is very hard.
oh, yes, we know that.
But we are working.
So, but I'm just trying to get a picture, because I always get that question asked, when is it coming to my neighborhood, which I refer to our information we give out and stuff.
And a
But
lot of it.
and that would be the next one. Well, how much of the town has available to
Available
receive?
right now that I would put my stamp on is only 419 households. Correct.
Okay,
Because of what we look for, it has to be properly installed, properly put on the poles, properly
Right.
grounded, so this way it's safe. And that's what me and Raul both do. We both go through there and we nitpick them hard.
okay,
Our contractors and even our internal guys.
okay,
But until we get the stamp of approval, right now, I'm only gonna say 419.
And Councilmember, I might be able to add on to that. It's not a gradual turn up, right? We have a project right now that is about complete, and it'll turn up 1,100 customers. So we could have some big hits. And we'll get into this later. We're just waiting on some permitting process. So our construction crews are building, but eventually we'll have to attach to some P&M poles and to another part of the network, which has caused delays because of the fact that we're still struggling to get permits.
okay.
And we can touch on that right now. One of our biggest obstacles is working with PNM. Now, let me just say up front, PNM has been very, very helpful. I'm not here to roll them under the bus.
Right.
They were short-staffed, and they have fixed that. They have added a new staff member to help with the permitting process. We have locally meetings every week with PNM to continue to work on the permitting process. And then between our regional folks and PNM's internal folks, we have bi-weekly meetings to make sure that process is moving along. So PNM has been helpful, but it's just a lot. I think it's 3,000 poles. It's just a lot of permits that we have to go through with PNM. So I'm not here to roll PNM under the bus. But like I said, we've got a project that's pretty much complete on our end. Once we get a permit from PNM, that could light up 1,100 customers just in that one permit. So it's hard to say when you talk about what percentage are we, because it could be one build that can turn on 1,000 customers rather quickly.
Okay,
So I'm on the common issues page, if you all are following along. We've talked a little bit about PNM. The other one that we've had some issues with is locates. We've had some issues where we've hit utilities, or we've had some mismarks, and that slows things down quite a bit when things aren't marked appropriately. We're not sure if it's just old, if it's tracer wire on old systems, or what the issue is, but USIC has also been helpful. They've brought in additional staff to Ruidoso, and they're working with us on the locates. 53 folks to help us get the locates located correctly so that we can move along with the project.
Okay,
Anything you want to add there?
Are you familiar with the locates and all that?
yes,
So everybody knows that they have to go out and they have to try to find it in the ground, tell us the
right,
depth. And then we do our best to try to miss it.
right. But like you said, a lot of them are mismarked.
Yes.
Or
And
depth and stuff.
And it very well could be due to road moves. It could be due to, an aging system, that little bitty ground wire that gets put in with it may have gotten nicked whenever they, did some improvements in that area, and just broke the connection.
I understand. That happens to all utilities or contractors when they're digging and stuff, so it would go in there. Thank you.
But I would say working with PNM, working with USIC, getting those two issues moving along seamlessly is our number one priority.
Good.
Any other questions on that before I get into pricing?
Nope.
So I was talking to the village manager, and he said maybe it'd be a good idea to present what our price is gonna be. Timing is perfect because as of March 14th, which is what, 2 days from now, we have a new pricing model that we're going to announce. Another eye chart here. The only part that matters, I tried to highlight in red bars, what we are offering for tier one pricing, or for our advertised price for fiber when we get customers turned on or provisioned, is $39.99 a month. Okay, that would be the advertised price. That would be for year one of the contract. After year one, the price goes up to $64.99 a month. The option also comes with a $200 reward card, so you would pay $39.99, get a $200 reward card, and we'll waive the activation fees for those customers. So $64.99 after year one would be the price for fiber service once the project is completed and customers are provisioned.
I'm trying to pull up my account, cause
He's on it. He's been
I'm
telling
on
us
it.
all about it.
Oh,
So.
and I came complaining to Ron to
Prioritize him first.
give me your number that,
Just for the record, it was totally coincidental. He never called and said, get mine done first.
yeah, cause my first bill, well, first of all, I got a door hanger back in November. And none of these guys did and stuff, and that's what prompted me, well, how are, we notifying the public?
Good question.
So I did sign up for it right there. It was a promotional for, signing up. And we hadn't been a Windstream customer for, probably 10 years or something like that. So when I did that, and I didn't get the lady's name or record the conversation, they were guaranteeing me that I would have service by December 31st, which didn't happen. And I kind of knew that. But come January, around the 28th or so, that's when they called me. They were coming to connect me and install. And I said, okay, great. Man, 500, the speed. And it's great service. I mean, I'm really ecstatic. Well, I got the bill in February 2nd, around there, and that first bill was $76. Now, I know in the first meeting here, for that speed, we were given that quote of $49.99 for that speed or that level. And I ended up, because I couldn't find a modem and a router to handle that speed anywhere, so I ended up renting the $10, so I did add that to it. Okay, so now it's $69, but that's what concerned me. My first bill was $76. And since then, now I got the new bill for this month for $66.30. And that's where we were told at the very beginning it was gonna be at this pro rate and for a year, reduced rate, and I could understand that to get customers. promotionals, that's normal business practice. But that's where I'm concerned, what our other constituents and other residents, now again, I'm talking the lowest amount. If this 1 gig, you're saying in tier 1, it's gonna go up to $100, or $94.99. That's what trying to prepare everybody on there. And again, Johnny, the service is great.
Yeah.
I mean, we love it, so.
You know, the trick to billing is that the advertised price doesn't include your state universal service fund fee, your federal universal service fund, the fees that are your taxes. I mean, once you add on the fees that we all don't have any control over.
Correct.
It takes it from, $39.99 to $59.99 pretty quick. But we can work with you on your bill, because this will be our advertised price as of March 14th. The numbers I gave you, $39.99 for the first year, $200 reward card would be included in that, and we would waive activation.
And you're correct, because like about $21 is for the service line, and then again, that $10 more that I pay for the rental of the modem and router. I could see where it added up to that, but I just want to clarify that when we first advertised and we pushed for this fiber, that we were going to have that reduced rate for customers. And I don't know if that's for just new customers. I didn't ask that question. Or because again, we were off of Windstream for 10, maybe even 12 years. I know it's been a while.
I'll look into that. The other thing that will affect some of the customers in Ruidoso is there's a federal program called ACP, the Affordability Connectivity Program. That program offers low-income customers who qualify as low-income customers $30 a month discount on their bill, and for tribal members it was $75 a month. So when you take that off someone's bill, it was a pretty good for low-income customers. That program is going away effective April, the federal program. Any customer in Ruidoso who is on ACP and a customer of Windstream's, we are going to honor that program for low-income customers. So there will be a program for low-income that we will continue to honor. If you have customers who are on ACP, we will honor that program going forward despite the federal subsidy.
And you would get that information out, correct?
Correct. Well, if they're already part of ACP,
Right.
they've already been notified
Okay.
that they will be,
Qualified
that they will
to-
qualify to keep the subsidy
Okay.
going.
Okay.
And hopefully, at some point, Washington becomes productive. I know
Yeah.
that sounds terrible. And gets this program funded so that we can move forward with the federal subsidy.
Okay.
And you did mention that there was an outreach that went out to you prior to the service being
Yes.
installed. We have a program called Fiber Fast. It's a program that allows, we know when a customer is going to be provisioned. And 90 days prior to that provisioning, we will make contact with that customer via email, via text if we have their cell phone number, or direct door-to-door with a door hanger on their door saying your service is coming, right? Within 60 days, they're allowed to apply for that service.
Right.
So we have touch points along the way to get as many people aware and on the system as possible. So we have a marketing communication team that works with that part of the business.
Okay.
That's probably the best answer. When people are saying, what about me, what about me? Because that's what I was getting ready to ask, how am I gonna know? But if that's the gates that you go through, then you sit there and wait, okay, well, until they show up, then I'm still not in the running yet for getting it.
That's correct. And like I said, it's mapped out. 90 days out, here's the triggers that kick in. 60 days out, here's the triggers that kick in. 30 days out, here's the triggers. And once the customer is provisioned or allowed to order the service, we have another communication with the customers. So some are in person, door knocking on doors, and others are direct mail, and some are text messages if we have that communication. And once we get more customers, if we were to knock out an $1,100 block of 1,100 customers in one block, which I think we can do pretty quickly, I will work with the village manager to get on the radio, let people know in that area that they are now provisioned or eligible for the service in that area.
Okay, that'll be very good.
And people that are Windstream customers already, since their criteria is already in Windstream, they'll actually get a call from Windstream.
Okay,
And more than likely, because the people I've talked with over, which I'm actually from the Texas area, the people I've talked with over there at some of the meetings, they actually got a call stating, we will honor whatever price you're paying with the copper. And they actually just bring it right over. And then everything's waived at that point, the installation, everything.
okay.
So that's something else to look forward to.
That is good. That is good thing.
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
So if you have flags in your neighborhood, does that mean that you're fixing to start drilling or boring?
No, we just came by just to give you a flag.
Here you go.
No, when you have those flags in the yard, that is it's kind of a system that's set up. We have to call in, and it's called locates, and when we call them in, we have a 5-day at that point.
Okay,
And you'll see different colored flags show up, you'll see different colors of paint in your yard, and that's telling our guys that there's something here, but if there's usually a circle with an X through it, it means that we're cleared to actually go in this area. And then they'll give us a written statement saying, yes, we can go in here and we can drill, we can do whatever. You may have a local tech actually knock on your door. You know, they may see something that
okay.
USIC missed. And they may knock on your door and say, ma'am, we notice that you have sprinkler system. Can we please move our system out just a little bit on the outside of your stuff? If you guys say yes, if you guys answer the door and say yes, then our guys can move it and just keep right on running.
Okay, and with that, what if, like in the ditches, what if you have rocks that go all the way out? Is that something that you're gonna say, hey, you need to move these rocks?
We're not
Okay.
gonna ask you to move nothing.
Okay,
We have an obligation to put it back the way it was.
Yes.
okay,
So my advice to homeowners and so forth, take a picture of your home before construction
Okay.
starts. And then people can actually go back and look, did they put it back, you know? If they didn't move it 1/8 of an inch, you know, they gotta give me a
No.
little bit of a break. But they will
I
do
was
their
just
best.
wondering if you would just bypass that and go to the next person.
Actually, if it is an underground area, what we'll end up
Yeah.
doing is we'll bore underneath and we'll try to find a spot in your yard.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's your yard.
It is,
We will find an area where we can put our pedestal,
okay,
where we're not disturbing nothing. We might even try to line it up next to a telephone pole to whenever you do decide you want to get internet, we can come out of that pedestal, go up the side of the pole and then go to your house and bypass all landscaping.
yeah, it's all underground,
Okay?
there's no telephone.
Then they'll probably have a buried drop crew come in.
Okay,
And they have some other tools in their cabinet, they call it a mole, which it's a handheld auger that they can actually push through and go underneath stuff.
okay, thank you very much, I appreciate
welcome.
it.
That answers the question I had. So if we don't have poles, power poles coming into our house or any of that, then it's gonna be a boring to the home.
If it's a newer home addition or a newer addition, I've seen it up north of here, I've seen it in this town in a couple of areas. From the pedestals that are there right now for copper, they actually have a duct going into your home, into y'all's, maybe y'all's office room, or I don't know how the engineer or how the builder built their room. It may be in the garage next to the breaker box. But there's a duct that goes all the way in. What our guys would do, they'd show up, cut the copper, and as they pull it out, they would tie on the fiber and pull it right through that ducting, hook up the fiber, and then hook it up on your side.
Thank you.
That's how they do it. I was wondering.
There you go.
And if you don't have none of that stuff, we tie it to a rock and throw it through the window.
There you go. All right.
Now, Ron, do all our village facilities have fiber to them?
Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, I believe we just finished the Wingfield House. We're waiting on our electrician to do the wall plates, and I think we're close to all of them being all 100% connected to the network.
And this is within the Village of Ruidoso corporate limits, right?
That's
So
correct.
the county, I mean, I know I had a few county people one weekend, and I said, I don't know, you gotta figure that out or what, but, and then I guess the airport doesn't have fiber, right? 'Cause
No.
they're out in the,
And I believe, Johnny, you guys are working on a project?
That's correct. We are working, we got a grant from the federal government to run fiber to the airport. So we're working on that project as well.
awesome. That's gonna be a big plus.
And Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, the only property I just thought of was 99 Sunny Slope. And Johnny and I have been working on that to get fiber to that home there, so.
Great, that sounds good. Any other questions for this gentleman?
Thank you all, appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Johnny, appreciate your time. Going up, I'm gonna jump to item number 2, proclamation of March 10th through the 16th, 2024 as AmeriCorps Week. Do we have our volunteers? Stephen and Eco servants, just our RSVP volunteers, huh? So, well, with that, I'll read the proclamation. Whereas service is a hallmark of the American character and has the unique ability to bring people of all backgrounds together in common cause. And throughout our history, citizens have stepped up to meet our most pressing challenge of the day by volunteering in their communities. And whereas AmeriCorps and AmeriCorps Senior Program provide opportunities for more than 200,000 Americans to serve their country through service at nonprofits, schools, public agencies, community, and faith-based groups across the country. And whereas in the Village of Ruidoso and Lincoln County, New Mexico, more than 250 AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps senior volunteers of diverse ages and backgrounds help to meet local needs at more than 16 locations in the Village of Ruidoso. By responding to COVID-19, tutoring or mentoring children and youth, supporting veterans and military families, combating the opioid epidemic, restoring the environment, responding to disasters, providing nutritional, clothing, social support, supporting veterans and military families, and responding to disasters. And whereas AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps senior volunteers encourage collaboration and partnerships, leveraging millions of volunteer services and acquiring the support of businesses, foundations, and other local partners to increase the effectiveness of their initiatives. And whereas AmeriCorps and AmeriCorps senior programs bring people together across age, race, and zip code to address critical issues facing the country, forge relationships, and cultivate mutual respect, and help build resilient and thriving communities. And whereas AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps senior volunteers demonstrate commitment, dedication, patriotism by making it intensive commitment to serve, a commitment that remains with them in their future endeavors. And whereas through their service, AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps senior volunteers strengthen the lives of their families, communities, and the Village of Ruidoso and Lincoln County, New Mexico as a whole. And whereas national service represents a unique public-private partnership that invests in community solutions and leverages upon federal resources to strengthen community impact and increase the return on taxpayers' dollars. And whereas AmeriCorps Week is an opportunity to recognize the dedication and commitment of the more than 1.2 million Americans who have chose to serve their country through AmeriCorps, and millions more who have served in AmeriCorps seniors and their community partners, and to encourage more Americans to follow their footsteps in service. Therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor, Lynn D. Crawford, Mayor of the Village of Ruidoso, do hereby designate March 10th through the 16th, 2024 as AmeriCorps Week in the Village of Ruidoso, and urge citizens to thank AmeriCorps members and alumni and AmeriCorps senior volunteers for their service and to find their own ways to give back to their communities. Proclaim this 12th day of March 2024 in Ruidoso, New Mexico. Thank you all very much. And Amber, you want to take this plaque? Got a really nice plaque that was really tiny print, so Yvonne was so gracious to get it in big print for me. And Amber Word here, she is our coordinator for our RSVP program, and she works with these seniors a lot. So we thank you for all you do.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
And RSVP. Okay, now the new employees.
Thank you.
Let's see. I haven't got a name right yet, so let's hopefully I get these ones. We have Eric Grinnow, Water Distribution Maintenance Tech, hired on February 26, 2024. All right, Eric.
You almost had it.
How do you say it?
Grinnell.
Grinnell.
Everybody
Grinnell.
says Grinnell or they say it.
Grinnell. Grinnell.
All right, welcome, welcome.
Next, we have Roger Garcia, Street Department Maintenance Tech, hired February 26, 24. All right.
You gotta have them say something about themselves.
Yeah, you're supposed to. I forgot about that. Thank you.
They can't get off scot-free.
So Roger, where did you move from, or you've been here?
Been here up and down a couple of years. The White's family's here. Locals. I'm from Hobbs.
Okay.
Nice.
Just decided best place to bring our kids is here. Haven't regretted the decision yet, so I don't think I will.
Good deal, good.
Good. Well, welcome aboard. Next, we have Adrian Tapia with the Parks and Recreation Maintenance Tech. Is Adrian here? All right, Adrian.
Welcome, Adrian.
He's a rec leader. Welcome aboard, Adrian.
Welcome.
And tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Adrian, here from Albuquerque. Just moved my family over here. Just for a more simpler lifestyle.
Good.
Good.
That's very good. Well, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec is fun. Alexander Aiken? Did I get it? Aiken? Akins. He's with Parks and Rec. Thank you, Alex. Good to see you.
Welcome.
Tell us about you, Alex.
I'm from Ruidoso, born and raised, and
started as a lifeguard, now rec leader.
Nice.
Good, good. I'm excited that you're doing that.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard. And you're a very good lifeguard. I don't care what Yuli says. Next, we have Charles Ben Griven. Gervin. And I met him already. There you go, Charles. He's our library assistant.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard, Charles. Tell us about yourself, Charles.
I'm coming over from IT, different private sector, but my wife grew up in Red Oak, so we moved down here about 6 years ago, and kids are all in high school right now, so it's kind of a nice change from Albuquerque, which is where I'm from, so.
Okay.
So that's about it.
Well, good. Glad you're here. And the library's a fun place to work, too. There you go. Next, we have Pablo Best for the police department, a non-certified patrol officer. All right, Pablo. Welcome aboard, and we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
And then give us a little snapshot about you.
From El Paso, Texas. I worked in the St. Louis area as a police officer. I came back to El Paso to take care of family, and my wife and I came to Ruidoso on vacation and decided that we loved it so much that we wanted to live here and stay here. And I wanted to be a part of this community and help serve.
Beautiful.
Great, that's great.
Thank
Good
you.
story. Welcome aboard. Next, we have Daniel Apodaca with the Solid Waste Department and Equipment Operator Driver. All right, Daniel.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard, Daniel.
Welcome.
Tell us about yourself, Daniel.
Come from Albuquerque, had to get out of there, it was hectic. I love the mountains, kids want to be in the mountains, they always want to be in the mountains. I was a fleet maintenance supervisor over there, did a lot of time working on heavy equipment,
Nice.
like diesel mechanics, so I could pick that back up over here.
Well, great.
Yeah.
We're glad.
Thank
We've been needing you for a while. Welcome aboard, Daniel. Next, we have Jesse Tereso
Tercero.
Trocero, Fire Department.
Hey, you related to Jared?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Right. Welcome aboard,
You guys all.
Jesse.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself there.
Well, I was born and raised here.
Yes.
It's always been something that's been off and on in my mind about joining the fire department. Finally just did it. So,
Good for you.
3 daughters. One just had one in January.
Oh, all right.
They're definitely excited.
Well, good. Good.
Congratulations.
Welcome
Yeah,
aboard.
congratulations, Jesse.
Thank you. Next from the fire department is Stephen Berger.
I would say Breaker.
Breaker? Breaker? And I truly apologize to you all on the names.
Congratulations.
I got rifled because I didn't know how to spell or say Raphael, so it's like, and then they gave me Salas so I could spell it backwards and it'll be right too. Tell us about you.
Yes, sir. I'm from Houston, Texas. Needed to get away and get some peace and quiet.
Yeah, right.
Peaceful out here. The opportunity came up to work for the fire department. I jumped on it.
Oh, man, we're so glad you're
Welcome to
here.
Ruidoso.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Next, from with water distribution, Brian
I'd say Kaiser.
Kaiser? That's right. Oh, that's what I needed, was Susan to give me the name. All right, Brian.
Hey, Brian, welcome.
Welcome, Ryan.
Glad you're here, buddy.
Congratulations.
Tell us about yourself, Brian.
I just moved here from San I was serving the Navy for the past 5 years.
Wow.
And originally from Carlsbad, but my whole family moved up here, so it's where me and my wife decided.
Well,
Well,
welcome.
welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Now tell him welcome aboard. You said it to everybody else. Now it's fitting for him.
Welcome aboard.
There you go.
Welcome aboard. Good job, Brian.
Yeah.
Next, we have Danielle Cadena. Is she here?
There she
All right, Danielle. She works for the library.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome aboard there, Danielle. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Danielle.
Sure, was born and raised here.
Yes.
I have a daughter, she's 7 years old. We love the community and I love the library, so I'm very excited for the opportunity to serve the community in this way.
Great. I like it. This is awesome. Now we have a promotion to Christy Coker in finance. Yay, Christy!
Oh, we're gonna take her
So-
from billing. Oh, yeah.
She's off the front. So, yeah, so tell us about yourself, Christy.
I just started here in December and when the position came open, Robin asked if I would apply for it. And so I did. I took the class, passed the test, woohoo, and got the job. So yes, Mark and I moved here a year ago in November. He's in the P&Z.
Okay.
So we're both here. And love it.
Great,
Awesome.
that's good.
Good deal.
Thank you,
Well,
Christy.
congratulations.
Yes. Thank you very much. Next item is the annual update on the Humane Society of Lincoln County. Do we have anyone here? All right, come on down.
Hi.
Sorry, thought I changed it. I'm Debbie Barbie. I'm the president of the board of the HSLC. We have, most of the staff is busy today because we are finishing up our countywide spay and neuter for Spay Day. So they sent me, and I know you all have this, and it's up there. So as you can see, 2023 was a very good year for us. We had 800 animals go out. But if you look on the page behind it, you'll see we had 1,159 come in.
Yeah, that go.
And on the back page, it shows you that 552 of them came from the village of Ruidoso. So, that's those pretty good numbers, but we need to move more. And so we also had the microchip initiative, and we worked very hard on that, and we did 355 out from the village, including the mayor. He came up and got a low-cost microchip for his dog.
Oh, I thought maybe it was for the mayor.
We need to put one on you.
Would you consider that?
Find him now. No. We also have been, as I said, we have the countywide free spay and neuter, so we're trying to hit the people that are not low income that are on our spot program and the people that just can't afford it. So we worked hard to raise the money for these 2 days, and we've done in the 155 animals on 2 days.
Wow.
That we raised money, donations from all over the county to get this done for these residents. And I think it was last year you guys donated $1,000 towards it. So we are gonna try and do this every year if you guys wanna offer any more money for that. So we've also have the TNR program, which is the trap and release program for feral cats. So we have sterilized 845 animals last year. And like I said, the back page of this report are the numbers that just come out of the village of Ruidoso. Any questions about any of these numbers? But I really would like to give the staff and the volunteers at the shelter a pat on the back, because
Yes.
they're hustling today. And on the 28th, or 27th of February is World Spay Day, and we've been participating in that.
How many doctors did you have performing all these?
We have
spays
two
and neutering?
in-house, and we have the Ruidoso Animal Clinic has stepped up to help us with the cats.
Okay,
So the ones that we're doing today, we had Dr. Willard was there all morning, and then Dr. Cooper all afternoon, because they're just like one after the other. We have a wonderful RSVP volunteer base too,
Yes.
good,
so, of which I'm a member too, so I'm proud of that.
Yes.
good.
A lot of puppies this year, huh?
Lot of puppies, and
Yeah, I've
kitty
been-
season is about to start. So we're trying to gear up for that, but we're working hard to get the word out for the low-cost, SPOT program, Stop Pet Overpopulation today.
Okay.
It's only $45 for a voucher if they have proof of income, and anybody in the county can get that for their dog or their cat.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
And the trap and release, you don't have to be low income. It's $40 for a voucher. We'll even loan you the trap. And then you just take your voucher to the vet that participates and have it done, and then they clip their ear and turn them loose. So we can try to stop some of these colonies.
Okay.
Great. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us, and we
Very good
appreciate your
report.
continued support.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, thank you.
You did great, Bobby. You did great.
Nice, Bobby.
Just said, uh-huh.
Next, we have board and commission appointments. The appointment of Adam Sanchez, Public Works Director, as an alternate to the Southeast Regional Transportation Planning Organization, SERPTO. And yeah, because I believe, Ron, you're the first appointed, right? Or-
Mayor Pro Tem Salas, members of council, Michael
Mike,
Martinez
that's
is,
right.
he'll be the
He'll be the main,
member, and Adam will serve as the alternate.
the alternate. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of Adam Sanchez, Public Works Director, as an alternate to the Southeast Regional Transportation Planning Organization.
Second?
We have a motion second. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Hooker.
Aye.
Counselor Jackson.
Aye.
Counselor Eby.
Aye.
Counselor Letterman.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas.
Aye. Okay, moving on to the manager's report. And Ron, I'm gonna ask Mr. Lamb to come up and do his presentation first.
Oh, that's
since-
perfect.
That works for me.
All right.
Since, it's almost time for the kiddos to get out of school. Don't wanna miss him on that.
So I'm gonna set these here so you guys can actually see those. Those are some of the sun things that we are working on with the kids. And I wanted you guys to be able to actually touch them and be able to see them.
And this is an update on the Boys and Girls Club of Chavez and Lincoln counties. This presentation, he shows up all
Yeah,
batteries. I was afraid to touch anything.
Yeah, I was gonna turn it on, make it go.
amazing.
Yep, I think it's turned off.
Right, made sure it all worked good. Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, I am Rick, Boys and Girls Club of Chavez and Lincoln County, here to give our 2024 report. We are doing a ton. It is a constant, thing for us to make sure that what we are doing is consistently relevant. You know, it's, times are changing, and the more that times change, the more we have to constantly keep up with making sure that we are bringing programs into the club that kids are going to actually enjoy. So our mission statement, to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens of good character. If you were to pull up the Boys and Girls Club of America mission statement, there is one difference between ours and theirs, of good character. And I think that this is a huge part of what we do here. The definition of good character is honest, respectful, fair, responsible, caring, empathetic, and able to persevere. And persevere is such an important word that kind of gets pushed aside and forgotten so often. The definition of persevere is to continue in a course of action, even in the face of difficult or with little or no prospect of success. We deal with life all the time, and being able to learn how to persevere is such an important aspect of how to manage every aspect of life in general. And these are things that we consistently try and teach these kids. We hold them accountable for their actions. We make sure that we keep them honest. If you make a mistake, mistakes are going to happen, but what are you doing to learn from that mistake? My son loves to say it. You know, I'll ask him, Chance, what did you do? Or why did you do this? I don't know. You know, it's said a lot. Kids say it a lot. And so we are consistently pushing to keep that good character as a part of who they are, because if you don't have good character, a lot of the other things just kind of fall to the wayside. Why we do what we do at the club. So we take the mission statement completely seriously. It is why we do what we do. The members of the staff are required to know the mission statement because it is known if you don't know it, you're not going to be able to live by it. We want every child, or want to give every child a chance to be successful, no matter what their background looks like. You could be rich, you could be poor, you could live in foster care, you could have one parent, you could live with grandparents, it doesn't matter. Every single solitary child in the village of Ruidoso and in Lincoln County deserves the chance to have a successful life, no matter what your past looks like. Since January 2023, the Ruidoso Club has been an after-school licensed program. So what that means is that if you are 25% above poverty level, you can come to the club for free. It doesn't cost you a single dime. All you got to do is fill out some paperwork, talk to some people at CYFD. It's a little bit of a process, but it saves your family money, and you have a safe, secure place for your kids to go every single day after school, every day when schools are closed and the club is open, and even during summer. Summer is coming up very, very quickly, and we have a fun program that is put together for these kids so that they're not just sitting at home watching TV and eating snacks. They are actually experiencing life and learning new things. Snack time and lunch during the summer when school is closed, and even when day gets out early, this is all free. We don't charge anything for this. This is a part of the program in general. The club has high yield activities. High yield activities, some people say fun with purpose. The basis of it is interactive experiences that help young people develop critical thinking or other critical skills. You have to know how to critical think. You have to be able to problem solve. We have a program called Project Learn, and one of them that's in there is, the first one is, you're at a river, and this river is, maybe 10 miles wide or so. And you have 4 people in that group. One of them has a hula hoop, which would be your island. And then 2 or 3 of them have rocks. And you have to critically think, how do I get across that river safely and get everybody across safely? And these are things that we're working on and bringing to these kids so that they are consistently learning these different skills that you need to have to be a productive citizen of society just in general. And then, of course, over the next few slides, you are going to get to see what we're doing, some of the things that we're doing. So, B-Bots, you guys saw this. It is that little
Can
bot.
I stop you there for a minute? Because that number of the poverty level, 400 and, what was it,
425%
above.
level.
So what is, but I don't know if you know right offhand, for a family of 4,
I think it's
Well-
like 110,000, somewhere around there.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to figure that out, so.
Yeah, it is significant. And, you know, and that opens up so many doors, and it's just completely paid for. There's
That's
nothing.
good.
110,000 what?
Income.
Income, if your family income
is
for a
at
household affords around
$110,000,
$110,000.
qualify for that program.
Almost all of Ruidoso could go.
Yeah, no lie.
It's, all of it.
Okay.
I need to apply for food stamps again. I go there. Wow, I guess not with that factor, but.
Can,
But-
I have a question.
Yeah.
Great programs. What I don't understand is, why is it that when we need childcare the most, like, when it snows, when school's out, for a holiday, the Boys and Girls Club is closed?
We gotta keep people safe too.
But here's my deal, those parents are going to work.
Okay.
I'm not,
No, no,
I'm
and
not,
it's-
all I'm saying is that, to me, that's very hard. You have somewhere where you're taking your kids, but the minute school is out for a holiday or a snow day, when I still have to go to work, you're closed. So what am I gonna do with those kids? Then they're latchkey kids, or mom or dad is having to take off work. I'm just bringing this up because I think this is a big deal.
It is a very legitimate question, and it is something that I will very definitely be looking into and figuring out how we can help balance that out. Because we are supposed to be there to help the families of Ruidoso, and that means, you know, all the time. And so if we can figure out a way to make sure that people are safe, and be open when it's snowing and parents are still having to go, yes, very much so. We will be looking into that. Thank you for bringing that up. I really appreciate it.
It's just hard. I used to have to employ people, and it was very hard because that's the time when I don't have any employees because they're at home with their kids.
Yeah. No, it's a very legitimate question, and it is something that I will take very seriously and we will look into. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So bee-bots, you guys all saw this. It's a little robot. It looks like a little bee, and all the kids do, this is for like kindergarten, first graders, and they learn how to do coding. So you push the buttons at the top, thank you. So all you do is you push these buttons at the top and you tell it when to go. If you want it to go forward a certain amount of spaces, you tell it to go forward and then you tell it to turn left or right, and it makes those movements. The fun thing about this though is it's not just about teaching coding. You can actually take this, and we have a blank mat, and you can put letters under this mat and teach your ABCs. You can teach your numbers, you can teach how to count, you can teach how to spell. There's so many things that you can do with this little guy right here, and it's very, very simple in the whole process. This is a great opportunity of teaching high-yield activities because they don't even realize they're learning. Ozobots. This little guy right here is an Ozobot. You use him by using markers. So we're not even into a coding stage yet. This right here is done by taking markers. You have a black marker and then you have multiple other colored markers. And through each one of those color patterns that you create, you tell this little guy what to do. Whether it's go forward, go back, left, right, anything like that. Lego robotics, everybody knows about Legos. It is definitely one of the most popular STEM items in the world. Robotics is just adding that robotic element to it. And then Sphero Bolts is this guy here. This is one of the most advanced coding robots that they have out there. And you use a keyboard and a computer and you tell it what to do. You truly learn how to code. You can tell it the speed, you can tell it the direction, you can tell it to spin in a circle for as long as you want. But you can also do other things on top of it with that little screen on top, and it can do different designs as well, so you're making it more personal along the process. Esports. This is something that we have really just started getting into. Esports is electronic sports. but we use it as a STEM activity. Minecraft is one of the big ones that we are using right now, and it allows members to develop those complex shapes and geometric problems. Right here you see what they did was their project was one person had to build one side of a monster creature and the other one had to build the other. It was called a monster mashup. And then from there we have other programs like Roblox where we teach teamwork. So they learn to work together and they learn to work as a team because you're going to have to work with people in real life. You may not like them, you may not always get along with them, but you have to learn to work with them. And programs like this allow us to teach that. Whoops, I went too far. Let's see if I can get back one. And then building, it's just building in general. Learning how to learn dexterity, learning how to put things together. Just those simple forms helps kids be able to use their hands in so many different ways, which is hugely needed when we come into all these trade schools that are happening and that we need so desperately around our country. Arts and crafts. This is always a part that we have at the club. Being an artist, we want people to use their imagination, and this shows that. This first picture here, that painting right there, was drawn by about 3 or 4 kids at our club. They all got together, they all put it together, and then it was presented before the governor back in January when I went up there for our time. And then the hearts on the other side, what they did was they took a bunch of broken crayons and they broke them all up and they made these hearts for Valentine's Day for veterans, so that we remind them that we do really still care about you and we appreciate everything that you guys have done for us. Preventative programs. Preventative programs are huge. They allow us to help kids critically think through issues that are happening. Power Hour, this is our homework time. This is the time where kids get to come in, they get to sit down, they get to get all their homework done that they have. This also allows families to have family time at the end of the day. When they don't have to sit there and help their kids with their homework and try and work through it, they get to have that family time that is so desperately needed in such a chaotic world. Positive action, mentoring, and smart moves. So positive action, social emotional learning curriculum. There's 144 lessons. It takes a long time to go through those lessons, so we break them up, but they're also about 15-20 minutes a piece. So you're getting some really good information in a very short period of time. Smart moves is skills mastery and resilience training. So what to do when you get presented with alcohol and drug use, when you get into middle school or high school or even in just the regular world, how to combat those wants and being able to stand up for yourself. And then of course mentoring. Mentoring is such a huge part of what we do because having somebody to talk to when you just don't have somebody to talk to is a huge aspect. I remember my parents when I was growing up, would constantly say it takes a village to raise a child. And it really truly does. It doesn't take 2 people, it takes multiple people to raise multiple children to become the great kids that we need them to be. Passport to Manhood and Smart Girls. These are targeted programs and small group programs. Passport to Manhood engages young boys in discussions and activities to reinforce character, leadership, and positive behavior. And then Smart Girls teaches health, fitness, prevention, education, and self-esteem enhancement. All of these are hugely important to help these 2 groups, men and women, know what to do as they grow into this world. Staff are always under training. It's a constant thing and it has to continuously happen. Right now the staff is learning Ozobots and how they work, but they have to be first aid and CPR certified. On top of that, because of the world that we live in May, every staff member will have suicide prevention training underneath their belt too. It is so important that we know how to pick these things out and how to pay attention to this stuff to keep these kids safe. And then last but not least, you can't have a club if you don't have fun.
That's right.
Any questions?
Great club.
It is. And I will definitely sit on that and figure out how we can help. thank you for bringing
That
it
would
up.
be really good. That'd be good. So let me ask you, Rick, when a kid throws out all over the table and stuff like that, are you the one to clean it or you have somebody to clean it?
If I'm needed to clean it, I'll be the one
And
cleaning
you'll
it.
be there. And then also to unclog the toilet from the kids all doing on that.
Clogged toilets before, yep.
Okay.
I have no issues with any of that.
Well, good, because I was gonna harp on you if you did and you assigned it to someone else.
No, I mean, do we have people to do it too? Yes. But if I get a call saying, hey, we need this done, I have no issues going and taking care of it.
And I'll let you know, Coughlin called me yesterday afternoon and give you a hard time on your
Doesn't surprise me.
presentation and stuff. So I told him, I can't do that, so I figured that might pass for him. I didn't want to even do that, but anyway. But you are running a good club, and I hope Parks and Rec is working with you on the issues that come up on the building and stuff like that, so.
You guys are doing, they are doing a phenomenal job helping us to get through different areas, and your guys' support is more than appreciated. We definitely wouldn't be where we're at if it wasn't for you guys, so thank you very much.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thanks for the
Mr. Lau.
presentation.
It was very good. Okay, now we'll move to the village manager's report.
All right, Mayor Pro Tem Salas, members of the council, just a couple items here. We did have our District 6 meeting here last week, and congratulations again to Councilor Eby.
Yes.
He was again elected to that, serve on as a director. We also have a project here that's going to be happening on Sudworth, New Mexico 48. This is going to be from the intersection of Allsups, Meacham, and Sudworth, all the way to the Y. And that'll start, we're tentative date of April 15th to start
So all the way to the Y? I
All
just
the-
thought it was just through Midtown.
the entire roadway.
Wow.
Is the plan. Mountain States Construction will be doing the project. They're anticipating 21 days. We're going to have a pre-con on April the 4th to find out the logistics on that, and it may be longer than that. They'll be working Monday through Thursday, 10-hour days, and we will work with our PIO and the state's PIO and to provide information to everyone, because once they get to the Midtown area, the parking and things like that's going to be a little rough, but they figure they're going to mill it, do a mill and overlay immediately at the same time frame. It's a little different than the Cutler process, but we'll keep everybody informed on that. And I think the last time they did that was 2013 when F&F came over and redid the overlay of that roadway also.
Okay.
So, but it'll be
Sometimes that pre-con, where?
the pre-con's going to be here in Village Hall. It's going to be, I believe it's going to be at 10 a.m., but I can send out a calendar on that.
That
Also-
would be good.
Also, just wanted to, again, we had a snowstorm on Friday, wanted to recognize again the street department, the public works department, we have the airport, we have the Parks and Rec, everybody worked on it, and they knocked it out pretty quick. It was at the end of the day, and there was a lot of traffic, police department, because they were out on calls, and fire department. So again, everyone working as a team, and Saturday morning, got up, everything was clear. It was just, had a nice weekend, it was busy, and so thanks again to all our departments. Want to recognize the clerk's office, Jenny and Yvonne, for the election. Well,
Yes.
that takes a lot of work, beginning when they first had their election school. Yesterday, Jenny attended the county commission meeting and had all the ballots that were all approved.
So we're certified.
And it's been certified, so that happened yesterday, and so again, it does take a lot, and they always have good election workers that work handle a lot of the elections, so, but good job. And I'll stand for any questions.
Susan and I were talking about when do we get sworn in, or I thought would be the first, and where?
Mayor Pro Tem Salas, members of the council, will have the reorganizational meeting on April 1st. It's a Monday. And the way we did the last time is we had the oath of office at the beginning of it, and then we went into the actual meeting, election of a Mayor Pro Tem. And then I believe approval of the boards and commissions was part of that also.
Okay,
So that'll be April the 1st.
April the 1st.
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
good.
And I'll stand for any questions. Thank you.
Did you want to ask him about La Luz Street
Yes, thank you. What about Nogal?
or Nogales? Yeah.
Nogal, the house.
I'm gonna have Mike, Mike's been working with the property owner there, and I'll have him give an update.
Okay.
So right now where we're at with 100 Nogal is we've reached out to the contractor. We've gotten a time frame back from him. It'll roughly take about 5 weeks. They need to order the product, which is the siding that goes on the side of the house. Once that's received, it'll take them about 3 weeks to put it on the house.
So the owner has quit doing,
They're still technically working on the house. It wasn't one of the 4 identified areas that was brought to council and identified as a nuisance. Just as a reminder, those 4 items were the roof, there had to be a complete closure of the household. So areas that were missing garage doors, the open areas, those had to be sealed off. And so some of those haven't been completely sealed off. There was an order of windows, but windows didn't pertain to that overall closure of the house. There's a chimney. On the chimney, there's some work that's currently being done, but it doesn't look like it's progressed in about the last week or two. And so I've been on the phone with the owner, let him know that there hasn't been any work that's been done. And so as part of our process, we now move forward with the contractor moving forward. And so that should take a couple of weeks. From an order perspective, again, they'll order the siding. Once the siding is ordered, we'll start working to place the siding on the house. And then the homeowner is being notified. They are being kept in the loop. It's not as if we're just showing up or randomly doing things. They have been contacted once a week. We are having those discussions. The homeowner, what we're going to provide the homeowner the next round is what the ordinance says as far as the lien payment. Clarifying that with Zach as we speak. I think there was an initial understanding that it was like a 30-year payoff. It's not like a regular mortgage. It has to be done more quickly. And so I'll get that final language to the homeowner hopefully by the middle of this week once Zach gives me that language back.
okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions for the manager? No? Okay, moving on. We have the reports from municipal officials. We'll start with Mr. Jackson, Councilor Jackson.
Well, Mr. Mayor, spring is almost here, and I have to once again cite Parks and Rec for keeping ahead of everything. This morning I walked by and the elk were on the, actually, they were all over.
Yeah, they were.
But they were especially having fun on the baseball field. And since they're getting into a spring training for our students, they were very quick to respond and get those off of there. In addition, the elections, I was glad to see the number of people that turned out for it. Happy with the folks that got elected. And that was my report.
Thank you. Councilor Hooker.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'm going to stand or sit mute. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Councilor Eby.
Oh, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Well, thank you for all the people that voted for me. I'm looking forward to another couple of years here. And Parks and Rec did, and the street department with the snow removal. We're supposed to get another possibly 3 inches this Friday. Yeah. And then everything's coming along well. And thanks to T-Bone for taking care of a skunk problem I had at the house. So that was very good. Good boy, that skunk. He got 2 of them, but he wasn't going to let those skunks get the best of him.
All right.
So that's it. Thank you.
Good job, T-Bone. Councilor Letterman.
Well, I'm sorry that Jody left because I wanted her to know that we've had, it's not a brochure, but it is a handout that has the do's and the don'ts and why you don't feed the animals. And we have put it in all the rental homes, in the hotels and motels. and we have a big supply of them. I don't have an answer for the horses. I mean, that's a mystery, and we continually talk about that. But I did want everybody to know that we haven't sat on our hands about the wild animals coming into Rideau, so it's just that, it's just an ongoing problem. And so they have their babies, and then the babies stay around and have their babies. And so anyway, and I too am very excited about serving another 4 years. So,
Yes.
thank you very much.
Thank you, and congratulations, Joe, Eby, and also Greg Corey, who will be joining us next month in our meeting once he gets sworn in. And yes, thank you all for, my campaign really through this was the passing of the bond issue for our water, and it was overwhelming support on that. So, I mean, I'm just really glad our community puts that as priority for our community.
I have an alibi, Mr. Mayor, or Pro Tem, if I can.
Yes.
Ron, you said April the 1st is when we're gonna have that meeting, and then the Tuesday, we'll still have our planning or our workshop.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas, Counselor Hooker, that's correct. We'll have it on that Monday. The Tuesday, we'll have our workshop.
Oh, what time?
On the special
Swearing
meeting?
in?
I'll have to look back the last couple years ago. Was that at, what time did we have it? Did we have it at 8 or 10?
I thought it was at 8.
8, might have been
because we
8
had a
o'clock.
Meeting right after it
Yes.
is what I recall. I don't know if they'll hold.
That's
it.
why I was just, do we have to do it on the 1st, or could it be at the same time?
You have to do it at the first.
Okay.
Yep.
That's state rule.
And that's April Fool's Day too, so
Right, that's why, yeah.
that's why you're trying to
Be
change it.
careful.
So we'll say.
We'll look at scheduling at 8 o'clock, but that'll work. And last time we had Judge Lund here that did the oath of office, but Jenny and Yvonne will work on that, so.
Good.
Thank you.
Be really good. The only announcements I have is, as Pastor Anthony mentioned about Holy Week later on this week, I really encourage you all for that at First Christian Church. And then also, today I believe is opening day of baseball at the baseball field. So I'm going to really try to rush through the rest of the agenda so I could get there for the JV game. I believe starts at 4 o'clock. But also with that, tomorrow at 6 o'clock at the Convention Center, there is a concert of our students, the high school and mid-school choir too, I believe. Choir and band will be doing their performance there. And it's always great to support our kids and be there to, even, I don't have any kids in that level of school, but I always like enjoying to support them in their performances and doing that, so. And other than that, I think that's all. Of course, everybody thanked everybody, and I appreciate all y'all's hard work out there. So with that, we'll move on to our public hearing. We have one item, public hearing for case RZ 2024-1, petition to rezone 109 Reese Drive, Lot 62, Block 1A of Palmer Gateway Subdivision, Ruidoso, New Mexico, from R1 to R2. Proposed ordinance 2024-01.
And these two people over here.
Okay.
Okay, they're
So, yeah, well, when I call up for public input, then you're welcome to come and speak on the issue. So what do we have?
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem Salas and council members. The item in front of you today is case RZ 24-1. It's a petition to rezone 109 Reese Drive from Lot 62, Block 1A, from R1 to R2. The item was submitted to PNZ. It was approved unanimously. The area under consideration is currently single residence. It sits right next to a multifamily area. That area, or the petitioner is requesting, and it was approved by PNZ to have the rezoning done to R2 so that they could construct the multifamily within the same area.
Any other or questions for our staff? Okay, at this time, I'll open it up to the public for any input on this issue. And sir, that's where you could come up and maybe Michael move over, or I don't have that chair, yeah. And if you don't mind, sir, state your name. And
Craig Kippena.
I'm sorry?
Craig
Craig?
Kippena.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas, members of the council, I'm requesting a change in zoning from R1 to R2. I wish to build some, what you call workforce housing, small, under 1,000 feet, single places, single homes, not apartments or connected buildings. It is just down from the new courthouse, if you know where that is, and where they're doing the new school addition. It's behind the, if you know where the, well, cross from the Shell station with the red chalet roof. It's going to be, the road is new, they just put a new road in. And what I'm proposing is very extremely low impact. It would provide, well, I'm going to do 2 on one lot, and then I was proposing to do 4 on these, or actually 2 lots, but they've been replatted, or they will be. And so it's, like I say, very, very low impact. The homes will be very, very well insulated, and utilities and everything will be lower than, I'm trying to make them as low as possible, since I'm paying them anyway. So, yeah, I want them to make, well, I guess the residents will eventually, but it'd be in and out people. There'll be 2-bedroom, 2-bath, so you can have 2 single people, or a mother or daughter or whatever, or a family with 1 child or 2 maybe. It'll have full carport for vehicles, 2 vehicles, and a storage shed, storage area, galley, kitchen, eating area, and a living room. So it'd be, well laid out.
Okay. It sounds like a very good plan and a layout that you're, and yeah, we see the plat and all the information that was given to P and Z, and it very promising to do that. So, are there any questions for Craig here? No?
No, not at all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else from the public that wish to comment? None being so, wow, I keep forgetting about Zoom land. Is there any in Zoom land that, I didn't see no hands go up or anything, so. Well, with that said, I'll close the public hearing on the portion of this public hearing, and I'll entertain the motion.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I make a
I'm just going to ask a quick question, just out of curiosity's sake, is I know they had some issues along that stretch here as far as the 911 addressing. How is this going to affect that?
Currently, the readdressing efforts that are on that stretch have been reconciled. So this would be a subunit type of address placement, so they'll still remain under the 109 even though it's been combined, and then you'll have subunits, either unit 1, 2, 3, or ABC.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion to approve petition to rezone 109 Reese Drive, Lot 62, Block 1A of the Palmer Gateway subdivision, Ruidoso, New Mexico, from R1 to R2, proposed ordinance 2024-01.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye. Motion approves, and thank you all very much, and thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you
very
very
much. Moving on to regular items. Regular item number 1, discussion and possible action on the 2024 strategic plan.
Thanks, Deb.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas, members of the council, this is the final document. There were some typos and a couple of other things that were fixed. We also had recommendations by the governing body that were also placed in the document, and I want to thank staff for their help, Nicole and other of the staff members, all the directors and managers that participated on the strategic plan, and the governing body, of course. And this now will work with their upcoming goals for the next fiscal year. This will also tie into the budget, and I'll stand for any questions regarding any of the document.
Does anyone have any questions for staff or Ron on it? Very good document. And I was the one that sent in the typos or repeats and stuff.
I'll make a motion, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Tim was
I'll make a
missing.
motion.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve 2024 strategic plan.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call?
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye. Item number 2, discussion of possible action on adoption of Resolution 2024-10, a resolution authorizing the participation in the Transportation Project Fund Program administered by the New Mexico Department of Transportation for fiscal year 2025 in the amount of $2 million.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Salas and members of the council. Ron and Adam have me up here to make sure I am learning my CERPTO duties, so they are making sure that I don't screw up. The first item that you have in front of you, item number 2024-10, is a $2 million submission for transportation project funding. Those items include 4.1 miles for a total of 3 roads. Meander Drive at 0.7 miles, Cream Meadows Drive at 1 mile, White Mountain Meadows Drive at 2.4 miles. All 3 roads are school bus routes for Rio Doce Municipal Schools and are critical access routes for emergency services. The request will cover all of the costs related to the project.
Okay.
And we're open for any questions.
So this is opening it for requesting for funding for 25. That's this coming year, 24, 25, right? I always
Yes,
get
sir.
confused on that. If it's the beginning or last.
And so it comes from federal to state, and then the communities we ask for the money, and then it comes to us.
Yes.
It's through the CERPTO, it's actually voted on throughout the communities.
Okay.
So
So each community can say, hey, we don't want Ruidoso, or we want Ruidoso to have this money?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, everybody's going to ask for some money, but it kind of goes to a vote on, what you're asking for and how prepared you are for it.
Right.
And Mayor Pro Tem Salas, Councilor Letterman, it is a competitive application process, but this funding here is all oil and gas money that flows through the Department of Transportation, so it's all state funding is what it is, state dollars.
So it's not federal?
No federal in this money at all.
It's
Yep.
oil and gas.
Money that's been allocated by the legislature that put into this pot of money every year. They've been doing this now for about 3 years. It's been dedicating funding for road improvements.
Go ahead, yes.
Is there, so we don't get any money federally for our roads? I mean, is there like grants, or is there stuff that,
Mayor Pro Tem Salas, Councilor Letterman, there's a lot of the federal grants, the state apply for the federal funds, and then it'll be a flow through where we can apply for those funds for different types of, if it's a safety grant, there's different types of applications that you can apply for. We do send through their congressional delegation, there's some funding where we could submit an application to the feds for roadways, bridges, et cetera. So there is a process in that. It's just, this is the easiest, going through the state funding is the easiest way to get the funding. Because you're only competing with the state level. When you do a federal grant, you're competing with the nationwide.
I guess what I'm getting at is we have 300 miles of road, and we have 2 grants, and, or $2 million grants, thank you. And so one of them is for 4.1 miles. You know, how do I tell people, you know, because I have people that say our village is a one big pothole. We're not, it doesn't seem like that we're being reactive instead of proactive. And I'm not saying anything bad, it's hard to get people to understand when it's hard for me to understand.
Mayor Pro Tem, Councilor Letterman, you know, one of the things, you know, and Christella and I have talked about it also, she was actually looking at some grants for the bridges. You know, a lot of the federal grants we don't qualify for because of the income levels. You know, there is some stuff out there, you know, our map and co-op projects are the big ones. The Department of Transportation are the other ones. And at the state level, you know, at the federal level, it's more highways. And then, you know, the grants are for more of a low-income communities.
Okay.
So the state grants are the ones that we're really going for, that actually we can get money for.
Okay, that helps a little bit.
And Mayor Pro Tem Salas and Councilmember Letterman, I think the biggest issue to realize is that this isn't just a local issue, it's a state issue. The state identified that there was like $6.1 billion in road issues across the state. And there was only about 580 or 60 or something like that $1 million that was actually allocated to road funding. And so everyone is fighting for whatever piece of the pie they can get. And from this perspective, at least for right now, this is the best way without putting another burden on our local taxpayers on how to try and address or fix the roads. So,
And I totally understand, it's just that these residents, they don't care about anybody else. All they know is my road needs to be fixed. So, okay, thank you very
I
much.
always respond, in time it will be, just be patient on it, and we're doing the best we can. But going back to the federal money, like Adam said, a lot of it is for federal highway, Highway 70, those.
Yeah.
And for our state and reservations, they get a big chunk of it, so it just drops down that pool to a small amount to go out to municipalities, and they rely on the oil gas tax for the states to distribute out to the communities. And I remember at a time in the early 80s when we got the asphalt plant at the street department, and they were making nonstop, but again, they were paying high dollar for that, for us to do it. And once the question came up, because I could say now, yeah, we could raise your taxes, you know, and in 10 years you'll get a paved road, but that's, you know, something that has to be weighed out and stuff.
And everybody that we've talked to, you know, in SERPRO meetings, one of the things got brought up the last time is we have our own asphalt plant. And
we're the only one, huh?
We're the only ones in New Mexico that have our own asphalt plant. And that's one of the people says, well, how's that working out for you? We're like, great, you know, we can actually get asphalt when nobody else can. You know, we can make our own asphalt. We dedicate a portion of our budget to paving roads, to, you know, updating. I mean, the matches that we have, you know, other communities that do the map and co-ops, you know, they're having to buy asphalt to do these roads. We're buying the aggregates and we're making it for, you know, under that price. We can actually get a little bit more done.
Now, Mayor Pro Tem Salas and council members, I think that's also part of the pre-planning that we take that Ron mentioned, the competition side of the grant, and Adam saying that we are ready for these things. By having our own asphalts, by having these things listed and ready to go, we are making ourselves more competitive during that application process. And so while it doesn't necessarily seem like it's that much in funding, I think the funding goes a long way, and we stretch that as far as we can make it go, especially with the resources that we have locally. So.
I appreciate it, thank you very much.
Any other questions for them?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, move to approve adoption of Resolution 2024-10, a resolution authorizing the participation in the Transportation Project Fund Program administered by the New Mexico Department of Transportation for fiscal year 2025 in the amount of $2 million.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye. Item number 3, discussion and possible action on adoption of Resolution 2024-11, a resolution authorizing the participation in the Transportation Project Fund Program administered by the New Mexico Department of Transportation for fiscal year 2025 in the amount of $2 million.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion second. What streets?
6 total streets. First Street is 1.3 miles of White Mountain Drive, 1 mile of Port Drive, Jack Little Drive, 0.7 miles. We have LL Davis, 0.7 miles, Leon Ferrer, 0.5 miles, and Wingfield at 0.7.
Okay, good. We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye. Item number 4, discussion and possible action on adoption of Resolution 2024-12, a resolution authorizing the participation in the Transportation Project Fund Program administered by the New Mexico Department of Transportation for fiscal year 2025 in the amount of $500,000.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas and council members, the item is for $500,000 that's being requested. This item is actually for the preliminary design of the high T. This item would go from US 70 and New Mexico 48 intersection there at the 48 corridor and 70 to Mascalero Trail. Our total project cost is $1.7 million based on a high-level estimate. This specifically is what we're getting from Bohannon and Houston, and the project involves restructuring the interstate into that high T section.
Right.
And as you remember, we did the feasibility study on different ways to
Right.
redo that section.
To do the routes and
Right.
stuff. I forgot what they do with Gavilan. They leave it the same, or do they send it aside?
No, it's just, it's the same way, it's just a easier.
Access.
Turn into,
Yes.
okay,
I'll make a motion.
okay. Go right
I
ahead.
move that we accept Resolution 2024-12, a resolution authorizing the participation in the Transportation Project Fund Program administered by the New Mexico Department of Transportation for fiscal year 2025 in the amount of $500,000.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye. Moving on, item 5, discussion and possible action on professional service agreement with Cobb, Fendley and Associates, Inc., Souter, Miller and Associates, and Waterworks Engineer, LLC, for water and sewer system improvements awarded through RFP 2024-004P.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council, we did go out for RFP for an on-call engineer for water services. We decided to do a multi-award from these 3 engineering firms. And after reviewing contracts and talking to them, the contracts have been worked out between the village and the engineering firms.
Sounds good. And this avoids the delay on any work if we were to go to
So we can pick any
CES.
3 of them?
So we don't overwhelm one engineering firm. We have a pick of 3 to.
Got it.
So I was just wondering, because Waterworks contract, they didn't have a fee schedule for their personnel, or the other 2 did?
Pardon me, I didn't hear what you said, Counselor.
Unless I got this wrong here, but the Waterworks contract, let's see, they didn't have a fee schedule for
their
I
personnel.
think it came in afterwards. There should have been a fee schedule. I saw it, but there was a fee schedule. I don't know if it was attached by the time.
Oh,
this came
no,
out.
yeah, it must not have got it this year.
There was a fee schedule. I think it came in afterwards.
Well, if you got it, that's fine.
I'll entertain the motion.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve professional service agreements with Cobb Findlay and Associates, Inc., Souter Miller and Associates, and Waterworks Engineers, LLC, for water and sewer system improvements awarded through RFP 2024 double lot 4P.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye. Item number 6, discussion and possible action on contract with Souter Miller and Associates to provide bidding, construction administration, construction observance, closeout, and design engineering coordination services for the Upper Canyon Surface Diversion Project in the amount of $325,530.78, including New Mexico gross receipt tax.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, this is just to work with Sauter Miller and Associates to help us with our construction of the Upper Canyon Surface Diversion. This is tied to Water Trust Board funds, so we do plan on constructing, as soon as possible. It'll start in fall, but we want to go ahead and start the procurement process, just in case, because we've had delays in items getting in. So if we can start awarding and getting things ready to go, hopefully we won't have a delay. And that way, we're also doing this construction during low flow time as well, as we cannot do any work within high flows.
Right, I knew that on the flows and stuff. And we have, I just lost my thought on that. The design's already done,
The design's
correct?
done. It was done by Moles and Corbin, and so this contract includes any work that, if Sauter Miller has any questions, they can reach out to Molzen. So this contract does cover that cost as well.
Okay. I'll entertain the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve contract with Sutter Miller and Associates to provide bidding, construction administration, construction observation, closeout and design engineer coordination services for the Upper Canyon Surface Diversion Project in the amount of $325,530.78, including New Mexico GRT.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas?
Aye. Thank you all very much. Item 7, discussion and possible action on revised sewer line maintenance agreement for the joint interceptor crossing at the US Highway 70 between the village of Ruidoso and the city of Ruidoso Downs to include Cardinal Drive and Swallow Drive.
Mayor Pro Tem Council, as you know, some years back, there was an agreement made for the tie-ins from the village of Ruidoso to Ruidoso Downs on Merriam and Cardinal Drive. This is just basically updating that contract, saying that we can, we can tie in services from Cardinal and Swallow up there and actually making it part of the joint use board. Instead of just an agreement, it'll be just like the interceptor line, it'll be a part of the interceptor.
That's going to be a good project, because I forgot how many homes on the Ruidoso, almost like 70, wasn't it, or
73.
something like that?
73, I believe.
73.
76, something like
So
that.
from the Pine Cliff area, and then, but there was a small, about 20 for Ruidoso Downs too, I
Yeah,
thought.
and some commercial businesses that they're talking about a gas station, and there's a couple restaurants there also.
That are tying in right there.
That's
Well, that'll be
great.
good. And this was recommended by the JUB, if I remember right, Gary.
It was.
We did discuss it and said,
You had an overlay and went into quite a bit of detail.
Yes.
so,
Well, I move that we accept a professional service agreement with Cobb Finley and Associates.
Nope.
Am I on the wrong
That
one?
was 6.
Yep,
you're number 7.
number
Sorry.
7.
Go ahead, somebody.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, move to approve revised sewer line maintenance agreement for the joint interceptor crossing at US Highway 70 between the village of Ruidoso and the city of Ruidoso Downs to include Cardinal Drive and Swallow Drive.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas.
Aye. That concludes our items on the regular agenda. We do not have a closed session, so does anyone want to make a comment or anything? Again, thank you guys for letting me run the meeting.
Good job.
Good job.
Think you did a great job, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, and thank you all again for being here. This meeting is adjourned.
3:00.
Did it? Go home and change and get my
Little taste.
popcorn and go watch the game.
Hey, Ron, I forgot one